So Shane here, daily-astrocat, and welcome to my Libra Season on Hold edition. This is about the season from basically the beginning of fall, which was almost 2 weeks ago, till when we enter the Scorpio season. So this forecast is going to be from October 2nd all the way up till about the 21st-ish, okay? Now, this is what we're talking about. This something wicked this way comes, right? Okay, that's pretty trite, right? Now, let's talk about this because what's going on is we have the sun exiting Virgo probably about, a week and a half ago now. Started writing this on Monday when it was a week ago. And it's, facing a very Virgo early autumn. This is the second in a monthly series that follows the flow and astrology according to the old ways, the moon and by season, by tropical sign. That's right. Rather than giving you a monthly thing that's kind of like, doesn't really quite fit. This is more following an astrological flow. What this does is this has us more in touch with the earth and nature. The more that we're in touch with that, the more we realize that we are of the stars. This period has many twists and turns. It's almost like we're tapping into hidden personal power. We need them to surface this month if we are to make good on our manifestations and promises we made to ourselves. Are you ready to learn more? All right. So, the Libra season began under a Virgo new moon. As it was, we are still gathering our tools and learning how to best use them. We wanted to be ready, but the innate nervousness of Virgo, that just has us unnecessarily worried and just a bit edgy. All right, and if you throw in a little bit of Mars square Pluto, we're left to ponder what's going on, right? What's afoot? What's this game that's being played? Lunations for the period are the Virgo to Aries full moon that's going to occur on October 6th, and the new moon in Libra on October 21st. Mars is very prominent in Scorpio. Venus and Jupiter will also give an earthy and watery feel to a season that is usually brimming with ideas and activity, right? Fall, right? We want to go out, we want to pick apples, we want to do this, we want to do that. We seem to be mired in this thought process and this extended summer, as it were. It really didn't start getting seasonal until well after a week into Libra season. Now, we have up until the 6th to really get ourselves into position to fully assume control over our personal space and timelines. Now, digging in. We're going to start digging in. Get ready to double down on your desires. Venus urged caution in getting things correct. That was Venus in Virgo. I was personally advised not to go quite so hard and to wait until the season, right? Because we're really beginning to turn on the charm and open the floodgates. Pay attention to where Mercury is on the next chart. Mercury is moving very quickly and will soon become the lead planet after his first conjunction with Mars. That's right, and heading into a retrograde. I'll get into that later. But not anytime soon, so don't worry, okay? It'll be in Scorpio season. It's not in Libra season. Okay, in my mind, only the personal planets can be considered the leading planet, right? We don't have Uranus as a leading planet. We don't have Pluto as a leading planet, even though the sun will be approaching that. It's just the personal planets. Mars counts only because it's personal. It's our energy. It's where we focus our actions on. And that's important. Consider that it was our actions that brought us to this place. New roles, new jobs, new realizations, new expectations, both on ourselves and from others, are what is being highlighted here. The next chart actually presages this shift. So let's take a look at it. Okay. Now, if you notice, on this chart here, we have Mercury, we have Mars highlighted, we have Jupiter highlighted, and we have the North Node highlighted. We have a grand trine starting to appear. As we get later on in the month, you're going to see a very powerful one, start to actually emerge as well. What do we got? Well, let's talk about this. The strong correlation between the Jupiter and the North Node Karmic, right? That's where and this is going to be around for a while because Jupiter is going to be playing around here until, June 30th, right? Retrograde and then back and then retrograde as the moon, as the node, the north node, slowly drifts backwards, right? Because the north node is always retrograde, moving through Pisces. So, what do we got here? Well, we got, look, remember, Jupiter loves being in the sign of the crab, right? Exalted in Cancer. Significant household growth is not just possible, but it aligns with our personal goals. North node, right? Karmic stuff aligns. Now, pointing to my chart. My chart's over there. It's on the screen too, but yeah, I can bring it back so you can see it. I'm pointing to the chart. The moon's squaring, Mars is squaring the moon, and it's going to activate an Aquarian vibe because, yeah, we just have the moon basically conjunct with Pluto, just passed through here on this particular chart, right? And it's going to trigger enormous growth. This happened on the 2nd, okay? That was, well, I'm recording this on the 3rd, so that would be yesterday as far as when I'm recording this. And that was a very momentous day, and it actually really jibed well with this because I wrote a lot more about this particular aspect yesterday. I had most of it written Monday, but I added some very important components to it and had some very important realizations personally as far as what I needed to do and how I needed to move forward. And we get into that a little bit as we go through this presentation. Now, Mars and Scorpio wants to go deep. Communication, confidence, and promotional work. Trading, sales, communication are all empowered on the 2nd all the way through the 3rd. The moon trine Mercury is going to seal this with a kiss. There you go. And it's actually square Mercury. Oh, it'll be trine Mercury later on in the day. That's what's going to happen because it's going to move rapidly through Aquarius. Speaking of Mercury, watch how fast Mercury is going to move in the next 4 days. Now, the full moon in Aries is not for the faint of heart, okay? It's a supermoon. This is a bold statement. It's going to have every Virgo quaking in their shoes. Virgo ascendants, this guy. All right? This is where you demonstrate your ability to do what you set out to do. It's done in a big, bold manner. Shyness, that's Virgo season, right? You are prepared. You just need to step up. We all take some of these things on, right? We do. If you happen to be a Virgo or one of the mutable signs, this will resonate a little bit harder with you, right? Because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like easy going, right? I can go with the flow. There's cardinal energy here that's going to be asking you to step up and demand it, right? Cardinal. Yep. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. That energy. This is where resolutions are coming. This is where we're heading. This is where the future is taking us. We just have to be able to seize upon it, realize that it's up to us, and unlock it because it's locked up deep inside of us. The moon provides us the courage to do just that. You're prepared. You need to step up. What about the sun in Libra? Well, the sun's too busy directing us into this wonderful culmination, right? We're kind of like, yeah, well, we can't rock the boat too much. And however, it's going to have its own ideas after this full moon as we build up to the new moon in Libra. Are you ready for the next level? Because here it is. Mercury enters Scorpio at 12:41 p.m. Also on the day of the full moon. This is a powerful. This is going to enable powerful communication, and it's going to be groundbreaking, alarming, and very potent. There are other aspects that are lingering that we're going to get into, definitely. However, forget about the world in this moment. We are instead focused on our personal fortunes. This is personal. This is what we need to do. The noise and the static, we're focusing on our inner growth and what we're doing. There are other aspects that are definitely lingering, but we are instead focused personally. Whatever is personal for you is the correct avenue that you must be working on or towards. And here's our chart. Now, here we go. This is a busy chart. The moon in Aries and the sun in Libra are both circled in blue right there. Okay, so don't underestimate the power of partnerships. Honestly, keeping the home fires burning is not only a good look, but it really makes sense here. This is the odd culmination of the details we learned when the moon was new in Virgo. This runs very deep and gets very watery quickly. It does, because you can see where Saturn is, where the North Node is, and we also have all that Scorpio influence happening. Now, the moon is conjunct with Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Oh, yeah, this is huge and solidifies the impact that Neptune is going to have when she returns to this point next year, together with Saturn, right? Now, Aries moons are energetic, passionate, and somewhat volatile, right? The moon is in a very potent Aries right now, and that's because Mars is in Scorpio, one of the signs that Mars co-rules. So Venus is just beginning to enter the tail of the kite that is at 0 Libra. Oh, we're going to get more into that. Mercury is at the yod point between 1 degree Gemini and 1 degree Aries. So there's a yod point here where you can see, and it's this right here. And it moves in this fashion. So you have Neptune, you have Uranus, and you have Mercury here. And that little yellow line and these two brown lines, that's the yod, that's the finger of God. That's where it's pointing, right? That energy, that was a Taurus energy that had to be resolved. Now, we've got that there, right? This is where that energy is going to resolve from Taurus, but the apex point is in Libra. Just is actually 1 degree Scorpio, okay? That's where it's really at. That's where it's really happening, is that 1 degree Scorpio, very close to Haumea, new ground. Now, this is where the promised abundance begins to make itself known. Right at that point, when the sun reaches that point, that's where it's going to start. You're going to start feeling it. You will have to really do the work, however, okay? And now there's another point at 21 degrees Aries that's opposite this, that guess what? That is also another abundance point. This is something that's coming on, right? Coming on. We're going to do this. Okay, now, Saturn. You're going to have to really do the work, though. It's hard work. Saturn is going to be conjunct with the North Node in a few days' time. Sacred works will resonate with us. It's our duty to serve ourselves and others selflessly. A lack of empathy will cost those who lack this dearly. Saturn has tapped out of the talent trine. It's gone. It's not there anymore. That's just Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus at the head of the kite. Saturn isn't there to bring that kite down. Now it can fly high, right? And that's exactly what it does. It allows this kite to fly high with Venus at the base of it. Venus getting ready to enter Libra. We want the nice stuff. We want the balance, the charm, the easy life, the good life, right? That's what Libra, really, it's that graceful, charming, diplomatic, just all the things in Venus, cardinal things in Venus. Venus is an attractor. Venus is going to attract that stuff to itself just by being Venus. Now, just by being the attractor. This highlights an earlier transformation, and it's going to serve to remind us that the final transformation is yet to come. We will return to the waters of Pisces to purge the last remnants of what we were of what we were, okay? Leaving Neptune, going back, the kite drifting, right? Along with Neptune, along with Uranus. Pluto is now direct, so it's going to be starting to keep it from drifting too far, right? And that is going to put us in new raiment, new clothes, right, of what we're about to become. Now, in the next slide you can see, make sure I didn't skip anything. I did not. We see Mercury square Pluto, and that's going to be very interesting because this is one of those aspects that appears negative. Yeah, because it is. Reverse witch hunts just in time for Halloween. Oh, now here we go, off of the thing. Orchestrated by the great pumpkin who arose from the insincere pumpkin patch. Okay, before you get mad at me, that was too funny to pass up. Words, they cut both ways, right? I can use them, you can use them. We use them both ways, right? You can tell me I'm dumb for saying that, right? Cuts both ways. I can say it because I think it's funny, clever. Use your words wisely. Every time I get witty like that, I lose a few followers, but your entertainment is worth that small price. So keep away if your skin is so thin that it burns easy, okay? Just saying. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. So we have our kites of destiny. I mentioned this last time, and it actually has to be repeated. Kites, they've been everywhere in the last few months, 3 months now. Every kite has an apex. The apex in this case is Neptune, and a base that forms a central tension. The base in this point is going to be Venus, first in Virgo, then in Libra. Opposites attract, but in the kite, they are the main source of tension. The surrounding structure is harmonious. The base is the force that stabilizes the structure and allows for the apex to bring the whole thing up, rising, right? It's important to note that the apex is the topmost point. Okay, and that whole structure rises in that direction. Everything works in harmony. Now, Venus is in that kite. So what do we got? The departure of Saturn and inclusion of Venus makes the ongoing kite between Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Venus like whipped cream cheese. Decadent, delicious, and easily spreadable. Your talents should be following suit. Let's share each other's creative videos this week. If you are creative and I am not following you, you need to do 2 things. Comment on one of my videos, and I will comment back. Then, if you like my comment, I will give you a follow. That's the way it works. It's that simple. If you follow me and then drop me to try to build your base, I don't play that game. I was tempted to call out someone here, but that would only lower my frequency, and I'm not going to do that. Let us build a prosperous community that cares and supports each other. It's okay to be ambitious. The astrology supports that. It really does. My watery empathy that is steeped in this Pisces energy just knows what direction to take. I just have to ask and listen. Now, how about you? What do you want to do? What's your choice? We got another chart here for you. I love the charts. Here's the kite chart, and this is what you see. So I was dumb and circled Saturn for the kite, but it's actually Neptune, all right, that's carrying that energy. That grounds. This is a very ambitious time, and it is going to ratchet up considerably. Set your sights as high as you desire. Ask your spirit guides for an assist. Skills we have acquired and can use to heal can also harm. Chiron is conjunct Eris, the sister of Mars. Oh, yes. So we're going to use those skills wisely and with precision. That which heals can also, I just said that. Strife will always seem ongoing, and we will need to focus on ways to overcome ourselves and our perceived weakness. That which we think is our weakness is actually our greatest strength. That's right here. Talking about the kite, though. In the kite, we can see where that Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, and Venus are just there to take that higher. It's creative, that talent trine between Aquarius, Pisces, and Gemini. Soon, you can see Uranus is at the very first degree of Gemini. So, let's go. When Venus enters Libra on the 13th, the same day as Pluto is direct, this intensifies the kite and boosts the intellectual exercises that we may have been grappling with. Justice, innovation, and freedom are all nice themes for this. Venus is at home in Libra, and there should be no hard choices for us to make. Our course is set for now. What will Venus in Libra show us? Firstly, forgive yourself and others in order to release any negativity that is dragging your personal frequency down. This is a big one. There's a certain level of poise and grace that is to be had at this point. We don't need to worry about what it is that we are. We are. Claim this. Own this. This is your channel, your station, your frequency. Libra is a cardinal sign, and as such, it's an initiator, and it goes far beyond wishing. This is your invitation to make peace with yourself and claim the high energy and high frequency that Pluto direct in Aquarius is wielding, that Mars and Scorpio is uncovering, and soon to be joined by Mercury, just for you. Now we have Jupiter and Venus in a beautiful sextile. Oh, this energy has been with us since almost just right after the full moon. And it's just been growing the whole time. You can see this is the 13th. This is a full week afterwards. So this is helping us to just point out that Jupiter and Saturn are entering a trine, and it's getting very, very close. You can see them right here. Jupiter and Saturn. Okay, so I mean Jupiter and there's Saturn, there's Jupiter. My goodness, and as you can see, the moon is actually conjunct Jupiter, and we can see where Venus and Jupiter and the moon, in this case, are actually making that sextile. So, even if I said trine, I apologize. It's a sextile. Jupiter and Saturn are making the trine. That is aligning some 3D systems in our favor. Okay, Jupiter and Saturn are this reality, right? They're this world. There's some systems that are in. Our faith is renewed in ourselves. That way, we can step into our highest frequency within these 3D systems. Not an easy task, but it's something that we are more than prepared to do, given this astrology for this month. Well, this period. How about that? If you have any doubts that they should start leaving you about the time of that beautiful full moon in Aries. Okay, any doubts that you have, by the end of this coming weekend, the weekend that ends with the 6th of October, it should be gone. Venus and Jupiter have been sextile. Your technical abilities have been hard-pressed due to rapidly changing technology and the inability of others to pass on exactly what you need. That's the way it is, right? Even when you ask them directly. Now we have Venus now that our Venus is exiting Virgo and entering Libra, we can deal directly with Pluto. Venus trine Pluto will use and gather the transformative power, attract it, right? It takes it in, it gathers it in Aquarius and bring it directly to us. All you have to do is ask. Ask. That is where community building comes in. And it comes sharply into focus because we've asked everybody to start spreading the word, to start helping each other out. Coming up, we will find that Jupiter and Saturn will be doing a dance through the winter where they are flirting with a trine that is already well within the orb. Yep, those little areas that are consider things to be close, right? That is where community building comes. Shane, stop. This message is intense, spiritual, and personal. By letting go of hate, personal dislikes, and preconceived prejudices, we open ourselves up to tap into the abundance that is out there waiting for you at your highest frequency. Does this make sense? I hope it does. Now, at the tail end of the Libra, at the tail end of Libra, as we start getting closer, as we get closer to that new moon, which is the moon and Sun conjunct, we will find that Jupiter and Venus have moved on, and Saturn and Jupiter are intensifying. So that trine is intensifying. The sextile is no more. What we want is in the distance. Okay? It is. It's in the distance. Say mid or early April. That's that 21st, right? That's where that yacht is. That yacht is still there. It's screaming at us. And that's where the new moon occurs. Opposite the new moon is that point in Aries, which is currently occupied by Chiron and Aries. This is a direction, okay? This is a focus. This is something that we want to set out and really attain and achieve. Now, with that being said, let's move on because I've got another big aspect, all right? This is Jupiter and the Sun. They're coming into a square, and you can see that this square is actually a T-square, and we're going to touch on that a little bit later, and that's going to resolve somewhere in Capricorn. I mentioned this just as I get to the point of it. It seems as if everything's being made bigger by Jupiter. Like for this whole forecast, all of these things, these big frequencies, these big abilities that we're realizing, 3D abilities, vibrational abilities, are being made bigger by Jupiter. Jupiter is in Cancer. Jupiter is feeling good right now. Loves being in Cancer. We can also see how Mars is beginning to form a grand trine. With Jupiter and Saturn right there in Scorpio, right? We could put some action behind these intentions and these big dreams. This is controlled growth. Okay, this is tightly controlled growth in a 3D sense. This is a high quality aspect that could easily be dismissed, right? It will be intense. It's hidden and it's low key. Something clicks and you're going to need to be paying attention to fully take advantage of this. Pay attention. Remind me to call this out every day as we start getting towards this. This is the 17th, right? Remind me. And we need to keep an eye on this grand trine here because Mercury will actually be entering it and give it a little bit more flavor, right? Now, this is going to first hit us where we live energetically. That vibration, right? We're going to raise the vibration. You think Scorpio's down? No, Scorpio's about power, but Scorpio's about bringing that out from in, uncovering the hidden. You have it hidden within you. We're going to express it and bring it out. Dare to transform. Dare to go after what it is you really want. Be in your highest frequency and know that you will reach your desired state faster if you ignore outside chatter and you march to your own cadence. And here, I just love this, right? Look, this is Saturn and Neptune, right? Doesn't Christopher Lee make an awesome Saturn? Neptune's going to enter Pisces, but not in this season, okay? The Scorpio season will be exactly what we imagined it to be. That's a season after this. It's going to be magical, and it's going to be a time where the veil thins even more, not because of Halloween, but because of Neptune's progress or lack thereof, the passing back into Pisces. Really connect with whatever you consider to be your spiritual guides, okay? I'm just not saying, it can be woo, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be totally straight religion, right? It can be old-time religion. We got Saturn in Pisces. That's strengthening those connections. Whatever it is you consider to be spiritual guides, keep in touch with them, connect. To be perfectly honest, the knowledge that you need is locked deep inside of you. And that's how we go. We look up to go in. Now we set out to attain it. And look, this is kind of like a Virgo hangover. It's as rare as a blue moon, or in this case, a black moon. That beginning of 2 new moons in Virgo. Nervous Virgo energy that was needing to get everything right just caused Libra things to have to be put on hold for a little bit, right? It really feels like it. And then we have the culmination. After the full moon, we can start beginning to put the Libra things into action and put the Virgo worrying and stuff aside. We need the expertise. We need that skill. We need that technical acumen that we had to attain. However, we've done the work. We've tapped into the watery energy, and now we know. Libra is the sign of known enemies. It's also partnerships, stuff like that. They're easy to spot thanks to our actions and instincts. Now, it's time for you to neutralize the hold that these known enemies have on you by conspicuously forgiving them. Once they are no longer an issue or an obstacle, your output will soar. That's right. Don't get involved in the interpolitics of everything, the inner machinations or something like that. If they still want to be douchey, let them. Karma is a B word. B word. Somebody used to say that. I love that. Mars is still in Scorpio. Will be joined by Mercury and the Sun. We will learn everything that we need to achieve our goals. Virgo season had us well conditioned, and we are ready. I told you earlier instead to focus on digging deep. Now we can go deeper still. Tapping into hidden wealth is your theme up until Christmas and beyond. I gave you April. I'm giving you all sorts of stuff here. Now, here we find Mercury joining Mars. This is conjunct, Okay, this is the conjunction. Mars and Mercury are doing the heavy lifting here in a grand trine with Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Mercury. This is very important, okay? We can also see where that cardinal T-square is between Chiron, Jupiter, the Sun, and that energy is resolved somewhere in late Capricorn. That's a good energy too. Cardinal energy just means that we are in a direction. We're pointing in a direction. But how are we going to find our way to get to this point here, which was opposite that yod between Uranus and Neptune, that creative point? We do it by mid to late January, right? We're doing something. We've got something going on for us. Now, let's think about it this way. A cardinal T-squared, we got that. Okay, it is between Jupiter, Chiron, Aries, and the Sun. It all points to attention. With Jupiter in Cancer and the Moon so close to the Venus Kite, this emphasizes some very Cancerian things. And this is a blessing on your house. A blessing on your house. It isn't one or the other. All parties can benefit from this. It isn't you or your significant other. Everybody can benefit from this. This appears to be a fast forward or a rewind button. If you look at the square and you look at the grand trine down here, right? We get the trine and we've got the T-square, and that looks like a fast forward or rewind. The song that's playing, however, is over here. It's opposite these 2 points in Capricorn. That song is the sound of strengthening green energy. Okay, so as Mercury joins up with Mars and Scorpio, the probing and searching we've been doing can begin to surface. We have met with Persephone, and we are ready to strengthen the roots that are unseen, that's under the ground. It's your choice whether you choose to communicate this to anybody or not. In my opinion, you're better off to leave these things unsaid. It will only lower your personal frequency to try to explain what it is that what you're doing came from. It looks douchey. Just do it. Do it. You can do it. Okay? It's best that we speak over the heads of people, right? Why do we do that? It's a performance trick. It's how you not get stage fright. You avoid direct eye contact, and you appear to be engaging the entire room. And that's the way we have to do it. Because otherwise, we could just lock, and it would not be a good look. We need to be constantly just over the heads. Focus on the message and not where the message is from. Deliver it with confidence. And remember, this is the first step in the dance of Mars and Mercury that's going to lead up to a Mercury retrograde. That's right. Anytime Mercury starts taking off and getting really, really fast and just moving fast, you can guarantee it's going to slow down and start to back up because it does it 3 to 4 times a year. Now, remember how this feels, particularly on this day. Okay, just remember it. Go back to it, remember it, because everything begins to really make sense now. This knowledge will become part of the totality, your totality. It's yours to safeguard. Friendly reminders, Mercury will be retrograde on November 6th, and it will be in this position conjunct Mars for the second time on November 24th. Remember, we love going through those once, twice, thrice. And we should see it with Mercury and the Sun, and Mars and the Sun and Mercury. All right. Now, the new moon comes up on the 21st, and that is what I call the snarling new moon. Now, why is it snarling? Well, we don't really think that Libra is a snarling sign. However, we've got Mars, Mercury, all that energy, the watery energy, that subconscious energy being expressed in Scorpio. Okay, so close to Halloween, right? Must be the season of the witch. Stepping into your own frequency means that we are clearly acting in our own self-interest, and this isn't a bad thing, especially if we're kind about it and helpful, and we're genuine. The genuineness is something that we really want to make sure that we're expressing. We don't have to express it because we feel like it will get us something more. We just express it because that's how we are. We need to help ourselves first, however. Remember, that's the first rules of airlines, right? When the plane loses pressurization, oxygen mask drop down, put it on yourself first and then help the person next to you. This Libra moon is all about where we want to be in 6 months' time. That's right, that opposite, that 21 degrees Aries. We harmonize ourselves with our surroundings and with others in our lives. Our communities become more self-sustaining, like we've been talking about. Our 3D jobs become easier because we're no longer into the politics and machinations behind the scenes. Yeah, I wrote that, so that's why I kind of cited it before. We are leading the way with our performance. Everyone loves a winner, especially if that winner is at a level that others want to aspire to. Be that person. You can be that person. The frequency, right? You express that frequency. Now, the full moon in Aries happens to be a supermoon. We mentioned that. And it peaks early in the season. And that means that we just get in and we're going to just go with that Virgo energy and we're going to have it peak with Aries. Strange bedfellows, right? Do the work and get the results you deserve. There's plenty of energy that will sustain us. So get out of your head. Get your head out of your own way, right? Get out of your head and stay out of your own way. The last day of the Libra season is the new moon. Look, we're through the first leg of our journey, and now we begin to have bigger goals in mind. Goals that will be realized at about 21 degrees Aries, like I've been saying. Keep this in mind every month when the moon is at this point. When the moon is in Aries at 21 degrees, keep it in mind because that is your guidepost. Wow, that was a long one, Shane. Okay, so here we go. Please take the time to like the video, smash the button, show us some love, okay? daily-astrocat.com. The podcast is all over the place. TikTok, YouTube. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Subscribe and click to receive notifications. Happy astrocatting.